Welcome back, everyone. We are very close to 50 subscribers, so please kindly subscribe. With that said, let's start the chapter. RMC and Farland were fully prepared to annihilate each other. But just then, two members of the Justice Committee arrived and told Farland, "You two are fighting due to a misunderstanding." The conflict abruptly paused, and during the ensuing discussion, all miscommunications were clarified. At the same time, we observed the Guardian who had arrived here along with his companion. However, right then, a few of Farland's allies showed up, knocked both Guardians unconscious, and began dragging them away. After this, our MC set off toward Earth. Lu Shang needed to return to Earth to handle some affairs. Only then could he follow Officer Far to the Almu Star Zone, which is 500 light-years away. Farland watched as our MC departed for Earth, and as he stared at him, he commanded, "Activate the spaceship's full surveillance system. Keep your eyes fixed on Lu Shang of the 28,462 Blue Planet. Not even for a second should he escape our sight." Then, turning to his subordinates, he added, "As for the White Mist Star Zone, we've managed to deceive them for now, but we can't lower our guard just yet." Hearing his words, his men responded affirmatively with a resolute yes. Farland clenched his fist tightly and, with growing anticipation, said, "As long as Lu Shang returns with us and registers his identity in the Almu Star Zone, this will definitely be a monumental achievement." As soon as our MC entered Earth, the very first place he headed to was his home. When he landed in front of his house, his eyes swept the surroundings, and what he saw stunned him. There were many people around his home. These were all Grandmasters. Seeing them, RMC was completely amazed. There must be at least 40 Grandmasters in this community. Then he looked around more areas of his residence and observed carefully. He thought to himself, there are more than 20 level 8 martial sect experts and even the martial saints, all disguised and stationed around the perimeter. As he began walking toward his house, he continued pondering. This might not just be the most powerful district on the Blue Planet. I suspect they're here voluntarily to protect my family. Not bad. He opened the door and stepped inside. "I'm back," he announced as he entered. The first to greet him was his younger sister, who ran up excitedly and asked, "Brother, are you really the god of war?" At that moment, his parents also entered the room. His mother, emotional and relieved, said, "You're okay, right? I'm so happy you've returned." Then his father stepped forward and asked, "What exactly happened? Tell us everything. Honestly, we can handle it." The whole family was bursting with curiosity and excitement, eager to hear whether their son was truly the famed god of war. Our MC smiled and then jokingly began spinning a ridiculous tale. "All right, now that things have come this far, I won't hide it anymore. The truth is, I'm actually the Super Saiyan Prince of the Soul Society. When I was 3 years old, our homeland was invaded by the terrifying Straw Hat Luffy, and everything was destroyed. To survive, I reincarnated on this planet and chose you all to be my family. Now that my martial arts talents have awakened, I'm about to return to the Soul Society to rebuild everything and reclaim the glory that belongs to the Super Science. But I'll need a little travel funds if you could each transfer me 5,000 bucks. I promise that once I get revenge, I'll make you all the village chiefs of this planet." His family looked at him with deadpan expressions, totally unimpressed by the joke, and replied, "Fine, if you don't want to tell us, then don't." Still smiling, our MC said, "Just kidding. Does it matter whether I'm the god of war or not? I'm still your son, aren't I? Let's eat first time starving." With that, they all sat down together at the dinner table. Lu Shang began explaining everything that had happened over the past few years, mentioning his upcoming mission into outer space, though he kept the details somewhat vague. As he told his story, his sister couldn't help but look at him with amazement. "Oh my god, are you really my big brother, the #1 martial artist on the planet? Stronger than even the 9th level martial saints?" Then his father burst out laughing and said, "My son is actually the god of war. Honey, our Lu family's ancestral grave must be smoking. No, it's launching rockets now." His mother, still emotional, said warmly, "Everything's fine, son. Just make sure you take care of yourself." Our MC responded gently, "All right, Mom, I understand." After meeting everyone at home, our MC went to meet Donking Su. The two of them walked outside, hand in hand, just like a couple. Seeing our MC after so many days, Donking Su's face lit up with immense happiness. Smiling, our MC asked her, "Isn't this a day worth celebrating?" To which Donking Su replied with a gentle smile, "How can you say for sure which day will be the best?" Then our MC pulled an album out of his pocket and said, "You're pretending not to know today is the day the strongest man on this planet registers his marriage." As soon as Donking Su heard this, a tender smile appeared on her face. RMC gently held her hand and said, "It's also the day I officially step into the stars. I'll come back as soon as I can. Next time we meet, we'll hold our wedding properly." Hearing these heartfelt words, Donking Su clung tightly to his chest. Then our MC handed her a communicator and explained, "This is the latest communicator Farland gave me. They say the battery lasts for years. Let's use this to stay in touch. After giving her the communicator, our MC quickly turned and left at full speed. Watching him go, Dongking Su's heart was heavy as she softly said, "Please come back safely." After bidding farewell to everyone on Earth, our MC left the planet and boarded a spaceship called Silverbird. As soon as he stepped inside, Farland was already waiting to greet him. Seeing our MC, he said with a smile, "You finally made it." He began showing our MC around the ship and said, "This here is the inner city of the Silverbird." At that moment, there was indeed a whole city inside, filled with many people. Hearing about the Silverbird, our MC's eyes sparkled with excitement as he exclaimed, "The internal space is actually this huge. This is like sci-fi becoming reality." Posting this on social media would be explosive. Just then, Farland snapped his fingers, and instantly, both of them were teleported to a restaurant inside the ship. Without hesitation, Farland ordered some alcohol and said to our MC, "Sit down and try this special drink from my home planet C, buckthorn wine. Seeing you reminds me of myself when I first left my homeworld." While sipping his drink, our MC curiously asked, "You, an officer of justice, did you also come from a Lorosaurus planet?" Farland laughed at the question and replied, "Worse than a resource planet, it was a level 4 battlefield planet. It was reduced to ashes in the flames of war over 3,000 years ago." Hearing that, our MC apologized, but Farland waved it off with a chuckle. "No worries, that's the inevitable fate of any planet turned into a battlefield. I was lucky." Before total collapse, the Ami Star Zone had already begun the citizen evacuation program. But just then, our MC started thinking to himself, "Isn't this exactly what I want?" Farland continued explaining, "But not everyone could be relocated. Only those registered as federal citizens could go. The requirements were a clean criminal record, strength above level 9, and proven development potential. Only then are you eligible." Hearing this, our MC became serious and asked, "Above level 9, that's quite strict. What about independent migration?" Farland answered, "That's possible, but all life planets in the star region are already cataloged. 1 or 2 people moving isn't a problem, but if it's 5,000 or more, you need federal approval. Without it, you'll be arrested. Our law enforcement department deports over 10 billion star migrants each year, many to battlefield and resource planets as laborers." Our MC interrupted, "Isn't that a bit too overbearing?" Farland replied, "It's a necessary method to ensure the orderly continuation of life across the universe. Think about it, Tiff. One planet is destroyed and its inhabitants start stealing from others. And this repeats. The universe would descend into chaos and madness." Hearing this, our MC grew quiet and started pondering deeply. He then asked Farland, "How much does it cost to buy a living planet?" Farland laughed and said, "Your home planet is still considered a resource planet, right? The alien beast invasion has just begun, and you're already thinking about relocation. The lowest tier life planet costs just a few 100 million black crystal coins. A slightly better one costs over 1 billion. By better, I mean a planet capable of producing martial artists above level 9. If a planet can't even produce a level 9 powerhouse, it's close to extinction." Our MC listened carefully as Farland continued, "For someone like you, this is actually easy. Your potential is incredibly high. Once you reach level 11, you'll be considered a star noble, and at that point, you can own an entire territory of planets. You won't need to spend a single coin, though you'll still have yearly taxes and must patch any financial gaps yourself. But for someone with true strength, that's nothing." Hearing all this, our MC smiled and thought to himself, "My vision has still been too narrow." Then both of them raised their wine glasses, clinked them in a toast, and drank together. While sipping the drink, our MC imagined, "Once I get my own territory, I'll let my family live on a whole planet, give 1 planet to each provinces worth of people from Dragon Country and squeeze everyone else onto 1 planet. Wouldn't that be perfect?" With this, the chapter ends. What will happen in the next? Subscribe for faster uploads. Thanks for watching.